Hello everyone, I am Rafia Tariq and welcome to another meaningful conversation. Today I am honored to have Toni Vallenius, a clinical hypnotherapist, lifestyle investor, and author of The Intention Game. Get what you intend. Tony's work explores the relationship between intention, thinking, the subconscious mind, and personal transformation. This book introduces the 4LOC method as a framework for moving beyond simply wishing for something toward taking a more intentional approach to creating change. Tony, welcome and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Tony, can you please introduce yourself for our audience?
Yes, of course. So, as you said already, my name is Toni Vallenius, and I'm the author of the Intention Game book. And if I have to put myself a label or identity, I would call myself as a lifestyle investor. So I also created this Life Oracle app, and they all come together. But my purpose in life is to become self-aware and spread self-awareness to others as well, so that they can create intentionally life that they actually enjoy.
Great. Tony, you described yourself as a clinical hypnotherapist and lifestyle investor. How did these two words came together in your life?
Well, actually, that's a good question because when I was my early 30s, I was into so-called personal development, and I was reading a lot of books and going different seminars and studying not only how our body works, but how our mind works. And I somehow got into hypnosis as well, but it wasn't like my plan to get into that kind of things. I actually didn't believe in hypnosis when I was younger. But when I experienced hypnosis myself, then I started to become a believer. And now when I understand the concepts of what is playing out in hypnosis, I clearly understand that it's not just this magical thing, but it's actually a lot of to do with psychology. So I think you know much about psychology because you have studied it as well.
Yes.
And to answer the other question, which is the lifestyle investor, I think life, if we only have this one life, let's assume that we have, or we can have other lives as well. Let's not go into that route, but at least in this lifetime, we should invest in our life, in our lifestyle, how we want to live this life. This should be all freedom to choose the life we want. Of course, sometimes different kind of outside situations are affecting how we can create the environment we want. But still, at least we have the intention that we can do something about our life. So that's the first thing to do is to start understanding how life works, how your body works, and how your mind works, so that you can start to create the life of your own kind of dreams and fantasies built on that.
Tony, your book talks about finding a master key to a successful life. What was that master key for you?
I think now the more I experience life, I come to this point that everything you would want to believe that everything is mental, and whatever it is that you believe is the reality that you are creating and experiencing. And when I understood this, that our beliefs are such a huge program running our lives and running the reality that we create and experience. When I realized this thing, the only thing that I need is to change the beliefs to believe things that I want to believe, and suddenly things starts to happen. And I have witnessed this not only with my own life but others as well. When they start to believe another thing, is the things that they believe start to happen in their lives.
Okay. From your experience as a hypnotherapist, how powerful is the subconscious mind in influencing our everyday decisions?
So far, like this is why I'm such an advocate for self-awareness. When we become aware of our subconscious and conscious mind and conscious about what we are thinking, how we are feeling, what we are doing, and what we are telling not only to others but ourselves as well, then the life starts to change because you start to notice that these kind of not hidden things, but it's hidden if you are not aware of these things, like what you are thinking and how the subconscious mind works. When you become aware, you start to realize that this is why my life is looking like this. And this is one of them, I think, mistakes that I also did when I was younger, because I thought that we get results in our life when we do things. But there are something else that is governing everything. And there is a better way to get results in life. And when I'm talking about results, we should, first of all, we shouldn't adapt our life in the result, because our life, the society has become in this kind of wrong way of thinking, like we try to make something happen or put a goal into our life, but that is not life. That is just a one moment in our life, and we should start steering our focus from results based thinking to progress based thinking. Like, how do I enjoy doing what I love, and the results come after that? It's easy to see when some painter is painting a painting and he is completely enjoying it, but he doesn't think about, now I have to create this painting. It's so frustrating. But some people still are going on in their life like this, that they have to do something to get something, to get the painting ready. But when they understand that the painting is never ready in this life, you always are creating new paintings. So why not start enjoying the painting process? And when I'm talking about painting, of course, I'm talking about in everyday life. Like when I wrote my book, I actually enjoyed writing. I loved how it became alive. I didn't write the book because I had to write. It wasn't like, now I have to write a book. Every day I have to put some words on the paper. No, it was like singing a song to me. I love that process. And this what I would wish for every one of us, that you start to enjoy your life, no matter what you do. Just start to enjoy. And the intention game book, of course, reveals how you can enjoy without any external things. Because the most sophisticated machine is right here and right here. It's working, but if you don't know how they are working, then you miss the point. You miss the huge thing what is governing your life and what is creating this whole reality. But when you know how everything works, everything becomes as a play.
You explained very well. Okay, my next question is, what is the biggest misunderstanding people have about the subconscious mind?
Well, the biggest mistake is that they think they cannot do anything about it. Like it's just there. They accidentally or purposely give their control over. They are saying like, I don't have any powers to do anything because it's just my subconscious mind that is doing the deciding thing and creating the life that I'm experiencing. So nothing I can do. But when you how to get access to your subconscious, how to realize that you are actually your subconscious mind and you can create from within, and you can create whatever you want when you tap into that power.
Okay. How does hypnosis actually help people change deeply rooted patterns of thinking or behavior?
Wow, this is a good question because I've seen so weird things in my life when using hypnosis. Like you can say as a hypnosis, or as you know, there are like different states of our awareness, our conscious. But there are more aware of states, and there are like we go deep down in the sleeping state as well. And there is a state when body is kind of asleep, but still the mind is going. And even the body is going because the breathing never stops, and the things that needs to be done is done without your consciousness. So there are different levels of consciousness, and it's so weird when we can let's say, feel different things, or not only feel things, because I don't anymore so much believe in healing in that sentence that it is, because I believe everything is purposely going to experience what they are. Like the illness is there for a purpose, to show the person something that they haven't yet figured out. When they figure out that, it's just like a mirror, and when they think a mirror, they can start reflecting another thing that they actually want in life. They are just signs that we need to interpret and know how to go with our life. So hypnosis is a tool that you can use to go deep into your subconscious and play with your subconscious. And when there is a skillful hypnotist, he can do it for you, but also you don't need anyone to do it for you. You can learn how to hypnotize yourself, and go within and start to play with your mind with different kind of, let's say, parts of your mind. And the first thing I would say, learn how to think, not only what to think, but how thoughts are built on. And this is also what I go through very extensively in the intention game book, because when I went into school in my as a child, when I was in school, no one actually taught me how thinking works. What are the building blocks of our thoughts and how to play with thoughts. So when a skillful hypnotist can hypnotize you, and of course it's not the hypnotist that is doing it for you, because you have to first give access for yourself to go deep inside you. It's no one can actually hypnotize you in that sense. You allow first, and then it is actually you who is hypnotizing yourself. I could believe different kind of things. But when you learn how to play with your subconscious and go deep inside, you can change, like, let's say, habits that have been last for decades, like smoke. You're gonna stop smoking. It can be done in one hypnosis session. And I have witnessed this more, more and more. And not only that, but there are different things that also chronic illnesses and unexplainable illnesses that can just vanish in one hypnosis session. But it's not the hypnotist, because why I stopped actually the hypnotherapy or being a hypnotherapist was I didn't want to become the savior for the other person. I didn't want to take the power to me, like I'm the powerful and you need me. That's not what I'm here for to do. I'm giving the power back to the person. I want you to have full control of your life, and so that you don't need me or anyone else to control your own life and habits. So this is why actually was the one thing I wrote the book, because I want to give a manual for the people. Please do it for yourself. Don't depend on me to do it for you. Do it for yourself. Learn this machine, learn how mind works, learn how reality works. So it's a huge thing. Hypnosis and a subconscious mind, what you can do with it. And every day, miracles become every day happening for you when you learn this.
Okay. What exactly do you mean by intention?
This is a good question. Intention is like a destination almost. We can think of a best way to explain intention is when you put destination on your GPS, you want to go somewhere. So you put intention. It's almost like a goal, but there is a refined way to use intention. And I see this more and more now, because I'm, of course, investigating this myself, and putting all my effort in the intention thing. So intention is almost like setting a direction for your life, and then just let it go. And know that the GPS will calculate always where you need to go. Don't worry if you take wrong turn here or a right turn here, because the GPS tells, okay, now calculate again and go with that. So when you set an intention in your life, like it can be whatever, like I want to live a happy life. And then, of course, the more you know about yourself, like what happiness means to you, and you broke these things down. Our words are a huge thing that plays out in this intention. But when you just set an intention for your life or everyday situation, as psychologists, you also notice happening. I don't remember how it's called, but when you buy a new car, let's say, and you didn't see it before you bought it, but now when you have a new car, your dream car, you start to see it everywhere. Like there is the same car, there is the same car, and it's a psychological happening that your awareness become such in a state that it sees the thing that you are looking for, and the intention is the thing that you are looking for. And when you learn to set an intention in your life, you start to see it happening and you start to create from that point on. So I'm talking about these four different levels of communication, four method in the intention game book and in our life that is kind of steering our life where we go. But the intention is the main steering wheel. It's the fifth level of communication that goes down to these different levels of communication. And when they are aligned, then the direction is the fastest or the quickest path that you create the life. When they are separate ways, this is why life is happening. Some people like this, and it has happened to me. Like I don't know why this is happening again and again. I don't know why my life is going that way because I want to go that way. It's because of this misalignment in your communication system. When you start to become aligned and learn how to become aligned, then you start to create actually the life you want.
You explained it very well. Your way is awesome. Can now tell me what inspired you to create the intention game?
This is the beautiful thing because our life is like, let's say that our life is like a puzzle piece. And if we think whole life as a master puzzle picture that is made of these little puzzles, and you can look at the whole life like this, made of little puzzles. But of course, your life is just a tiny puzzle in the whole cosmos, in the whole universe. And kind of when you go through life, you are building your own puzzle pieces together. You are putting this, and when the further you go and the longer you live, you start to like see more clearly that what kind of puzzle piece is coming together. Now I can connect why I did this because of this one. And you start to see the whole picture. Because sometimes in life it feels like I don't know why I'm doing this or why did I have to experience this. But maybe 5 years or even later or even one day from that moment, you can start to acknowledge like now I know why I went through this kind of thing. So for me, this book, the whole book thing, I believe nothing is actually coincidence in this world. When you start to see the patterns that runs through this world and in your life, you start to make the connections here and there, and you start to realize that now I get it. This is why I'm in this path. This is why I went through things. So I was about, I think, maybe 12 years old, even younger. I don't remember, but my stepmom said, like, I was writing this school project that we had. I wrote something. I don't remember even what it was, but it was like a small piece of essay or something. It's just some story or something like that. And I get a 10, like the best grade you can get from that. And I was happy about it. And when I showed it to my stepmom said like, wow, this is such a good piece of writing. You should be a writer. That was my first clue. But then I didn't have any interest of writing because life took me another direction. But it was my first clue that I should write something, but I didn't know even that it would be this intention game. Then there are a lot of things that happened. I have always enjoyed thinking, thinking process and creating something new and stories and these kind of things. I think every human being loves stories and but creating stories alive was some point that I really enjoyed. And I have been enjoyed writing ever since. But the point when I wrote the intention game book came alive when my wife actually said like, "Tony, why wouldn't you think like this? Because yeah, you know so much about life, and we can create a beautiful life for us as for us. Why wouldn't you think a life like this? What would be the highest good for everyone?" And this kind of I didn't know the answer for this. And if you know the intention now, the intention is how can I create the highest good for everyone? This actually my intention since my wife said this question for me. And I took it to my heart, like what could be the highest truth for everyone? And how can I play my part in this intention? And I didn't know back then what could I do. And every one of us, when we ask this question, it starts to reveal itself. You don't have to know the answer. The answer becomes the path you take when you ask questions. That's the beautiful thing about questions and intention when you know how to set and cover it. So for me, it was okay. I just put everything that I know has helped me create a beautiful life in the book format. That was the point when I started to write the intention game book. And also, I wanted to give something valuable for my daughter, who is now 13 years old. And actually, it was a beautiful thing. We just recently gave a presentation from the intention game book, how she has integrated it in her own life. And this kind of also my wish came true when she read it and get something from it. And these kind of things was my driving force that I wanna write something valuable. And I think my daughter, like how could I wrote such a simple way that even a 13 years old child understands this concept because I didn't want to make it so scientific and difficult for a person to understand. I wanted to make so simple that everyone on this planet could understand it and could take it with their lives. And it's written in three different ways. First way is the practical way. You kind of know practically how things work. Ah, this makes sense. And because I'm a hypnotherapist, as you know, and as you said, so I made a little bit hypnosis in the book. And stories for the subconscious mind because I know how our subconscious mind works. So even though if the reader, if you don't understand what is going on when you read, still it transforms your thinking because I understood that this beautiful thing. We don't have to really actually say like sometimes when, especially when you have kids, and you say like this is good, this is how it should be. These kind of teachings, yes, they are good and simple way, direct way, but somehow when you know human mind, we not necessarily are so acceptable every kind of things like, okay, yeah, but it doesn't work for me, or we can be closed-minded if we just stay straightly. But when we tell stories and let the person realize themselves what the story is about. And they take it like it's my idea, it's how I see, and they understand the concepts in a different way. So this is why there is a second way that runs through the book. It's the subconscious way, it's the story way, it's the not so practical way that integrates the person's thinking in a way that transforms the person even without her even noticing it. So that's the second one. Then there is a third way because I wanted this to be a transformative book. I wanted it to be the most important book that you ever read. This was one of my intentions as well when I wrote this. I didn't want to write just a book because I love writing. That was the process that I love to do, but I wanted what people stand for. So the third part is very practical train exercises that I call them. And you do these mental exercises if you do them as they are called in the book. They are very simple, it doesn't take so much time, or they will actually physically transform your not even in your mind, but your brain as well. If we could see inside your brains these neural pathways, It's designed to create new neural pathways and new connections in your brain. So that means you start to think differently. And then you start to think differently. You start to behave differently. When you start to behave differently, you start to be and have different things in your life. So that's why I wrote it.
Your book seems to be very interesting. I want to read it by myself.
And,
Okay.
and if anyone wants to read it, it can be like bought in Amazon and different stores. What I recommend, I highly recommend to everyone to take the digital book from the intention game website because you get so much bonuses with it that you cannot get with the physical copy. Of course, someone likes to hold a physical copy and read like the actual book. This I understand. I like them as well. So if you are buying the physical copy, with without the bonuses, just send me an email or something, and I will still give you an access to bonuses that I'm giving away when you buy this book. You are not only getting the book, you are getting into a platform, and there is so much things in that platform. Also, the premium access to Life Oracle app that is going to be a next huge thing in this in our future.
If you could change one belief in the minds of millions of people around the world, what would it be?
If I could change only one belief, it would be that life is beautiful experience. And how can I enjoy more in this life while creating highest good for everyone? If this kind of belief would be for everyone accessible, like the life is so beautiful. I love myself. I love my life, and I love creating the highest good for everyone. Like I love treating myself well and treating my neighbor and everyone I see well. That would be so beautiful thing that I wish for everyone. Feel love, feel supported, feel kind of life that every people on this world is on your side and they can trust you and you can trust them. This would be so beautiful thing that I would immediately take.
And finally, Tony, if someone watching us today remembers only one sentence from this entire conversation, what would you want that sentence to be?
Oh my God, only one sentence. Well, your life is how you believe with the being. So that's one sentence. And I give you another, it's kind of an instruction, if you may think so. This is what I say to my people. You can have what you say. Still, some keep saying what they have.
Okay, so as the time is short, so I want to end the interview. Otherwise, it's very interesting. I want to talk, but as you know, time is short. Tony, thank you so much for sharing your experiences, ideas, and perspectives with us. I think this conversation has given us a lot to think about, not only about manifestation, but also about our beliefs, intentions, actions, and the way we approach personal growth. Thank you for joining us, and thank you everyone for watching. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.